Yeah! BFK for life! Forever! Yes! We need everybody, yeah!
Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Thought Crime and Keto and Crime. Today we're going into a world of exploitation. This is one you may or may not have heard of, but it comes to us from the early 2000s, and it's a phenomenon known as bum fights. This was literally a pay-per-view video series that was created to, in the same vein as Girls Gone Wild, if you remember those. It came out about that same time, but instead of showing girls lifting their shirts and going crazy and on spring break, they literally, in this one, paid homeless people to do horrible stunts. And that's what we're going to get into, because to me, not only is this ethically wrong, they got in some trouble for it. So let's get into it. Bum fights. Bumfights was a film series produced by In Decline Films. It was a series of 4 different VHS videotapes. The first one, Bumfights 1, called A Cause for Concern, was created over a span of several years, where the creators actually paid and filmed homeless people doing Jackass-like stunts. And when I say Jackass, I mean the actual MTV show and movie. So they paid people to do those type of stunts. In fact, one of the producers of this would go on to later be involved with Jackass. And they filmed this over a period of several years and then put all this together into some compilation of degeneracy. The creators of this phenomenon were 4 friends from the San Diego, Southern California area that were skateboarders. They started out filming their skateboard stunts, which to me was fine. I would have gone with that concept. But their names were Ryan McPherson, Zachary Bubeck, Daniel Tanner, not Danny Tanner from Full House, and Michael Slyman. And they came together to form In Decline Films. As I said, they grew up skateboarding around San Diego, and they filmed their stunts and did stupid things like run themselves into walls and try to jump over cars and things like that on their skateboards. And that's fine, because as long as they have the permission of the property owner and they're okay with getting hurt, do what you want. I'm all about freedom of expression. But they decided that that wouldn't have as big of a market as something like watching homeless people do stuff, because homeless people are kind of a curiosity, I guess, and there was a lot of homeless people that hung out around the skateboard areas in San Diego. Specifically, 2 homeless people, 2 former veterans by the name of Rufus and Donnie Brennan. Now, both of these guys had pretty sad lives. Rufus Hanna was born in Georgia. He was drinking and became an actual alcoholic by the time he was 13. Did some petty theft. Joined the Army because of his drinking. He had an accident during basic training and ended up getting discharged from the military. Donnie Brennan actually joined the Army, was a Vietnam veteran, but like a lot of veterans with untreated mental illness, both of these guys had untreated mental illness, alcoholism, PTSD, other things going on. Because our veterans don't get the proper treatment they need, a lot of them end up on the streets, homeless. And that's what happened to these guys. Well, Danny specifically and Ryan befriended these two guys while they were hanging out around the skateboard parks in San Diego. And they started offering them money to do little stunts, like run themselves into walls. I mean, weird stuff. I'm gonna insert a few clips here. But they started basically paying them and filming them doing outrageous things.
You want $1? We got some money. We got a nickel, I think. Can you do some stuff for video?
What's that?
Rufus?
Yeah.
That's your name, right?
Hey, what
Donnie?
up?
Yeah, he just went home.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to help us out on our video we're doing, the manifest video? Donnie helped us out, like, for the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me about it.
Yeah, he's
Really?
pretty funny.
Huh?
Yeah.
He was telling me about it.
Can you help us out, please?
What you want me to do?
I don't know, like,
He was
there's some crates back there you can walk into.
shit.
And then later on in 2003, they actually put the first Bumfights edition, called A Cause for Concern. They spliced all their video clips together and film clips together and came out with a VHS tape that they sold, much like Girls Gone Wild. One of the first stunts he paid the two to do was to hurl themselves off of the high walls at the skateboarding park. Also, they paid Rufus to run himself into a metal door, which actually caused a concussion. They paid him to to push each other in shopping carts at a very high speed and just let each other go, causing a lot of physical harm and property damage, as you can imagine. And the cost, what did they pay these homeless guys to do these stunts? Anywhere from 50 cents to $5 to $10 is what they got to put their bodies into harm's way. And as you can imagine, once the first VHS tape came out, 2002, 2003, they got themselves in trouble with a lot of the homeless advocacy groups who immediately filed injunctions and lawsuits on behalf of Rufus and Donnie to get this stopped. But McPherson and his crew have long contended that they were actually friends of Rufus and Donnie. They loved Rufus and Donnie. Rufus and Donnie enjoyed doing what they did, and they paid them to boot. So what they were doing, they said, was a public service. So In Decline Films went on. This was their primary feature for many, many years. In fact, their first VHS tape sold hundreds of thousands of copies at $22 each. So these guys made bank. And with the success of the first one, they lodged directly into making their second one, bringing up the level of the pranks. No longer were these guys just running around in shopping carts. They started actually paying them to fight each other, literally beat the crap out of each other on film, and started filming them doing things like trying to steal cars. They even filmed a guy setting Rufus's hair on fire. I mean, just as the money came in, they got more and more liberal with what they were making the guys do. And the second issue, or the second video in the Bumfights series, called Bumfights Vol.2 Bum Life, was released at the end of 2003, and it sold the same, hundreds of thousands of units at about $22 each. And this is where McPherson decided it was time to up their ante, and they wanted to get involved with an actual filmmaker who could take it to the next level. And that's when they got involved with two businessmen from Las Vegas, Nevada. These two guys went under the false names Ray Letitia and Ty Beeson. In fact, Ty Beeson would go on to make a name for himself by trolling Dr. Phil later on, which we will talk about. But these guys basically took it over, and according to Ryan McPherson, he and his other friends unknowingly signed their stake in the series away in a hotel room one night when they were negotiating. He said he thought they were going to retain a percentage, but he said that he didn't read the contract, and so McPherson and his bunch actually signed the rights to Bumfights over to Letitia and Beeson, who took it over and moved it from Southern California to Las Vegas, and this is where Bumfights 3 and 4 were produced, and this is where it went to an even bigger level. These guys put a character in the video called the Bum Hunter, which was a play off of something that Ryan McPherson had the idea to do, but it was a play off of Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter. And this guy would go around in a safari outfit, faking an Australian accent, and would actually catch bums in their natural habitat by sneaking up on them, tying them up, pretending to be police, terrorizing these poor guys.
We're gonna try to sneak up on us. Seems to be sleeping right now.
Hold on, Mike! Hold on there, Mike! Slow down! Slow down there, Mike! Slow down! Slow down there, Mike! Slow down! Hit the wall! Look at Mike! Go at you! Look at you! Slow down! Slow down, Mike! Slow down! This is a good one! This one's off the Richter! I got a good hold of his arms! Right here! Slow down!
And they would actually put that on as a gag in the 3rd and 4th VHS releases, and later on DVD releases. They also upped the ante where they started hiring other people, not just homeless, but just people standing around on the streets to break out windows in cars, steal cars. And they took the fights among the bums to a whole different level where people were actually getting hurt. Well, the homeless advocacy groups were already involved and already got an injunction against McPherson. That injunction did not go for Letitia and Beeson, and so they ended up fighting. By this time, Danny and Rufus, the 2 original homeless men that had been the stars of the first 2 volumes, actually sued McPherson and the original other three creators of Bumfights in court, and supposedly settled out of court for $300,000 in damages. So perhaps what Ryan was saying about them being willing participants and enjoying it wasn't exactly true. Well, Brennan is often quoted as saying the reason they filed the lawsuit was that the last straw was when they were asked to do some things for the 3rd VHS release, which they declined. They were actually asked to dress up like Sylvester and Tweety Bird from Looney Tunes and run through casinos actually fighting. They refused to do it, and that's when they realized that they felt their lives were in danger because the producers were really upset. Even though McPherson said that he was kind of wigged out of his own contract and lost control, it actually came out later that he actually was paid $1.5 million by the new owners of Bumfights for his rights, and actually went out to Las Vegas and helped produce the last 2 sequels. So you can't really buy what Ryan McPherson is selling. Sounds like he's kind of a liar. But when Brennan and another homeless guy were hurt, broken bones, during one of the filmings, that's when the police got involved and they shut the shooting down. And Bumfights was no more. Then you had an ongoing legal battle between the owners of Bumfights, and then you had the lawsuit with the former homeless men. And they ended up, settling for about $300,000. But Bumfights is no more. The production was ceased. And then you get into the fanfare around it. In 2006, Ty Beeson, that's not his real name, but Ty Beeson was invited on the Dr. Phil show. And not only did he go on with a bad attitude, he actually trolled Dr. Phil by dressing up as a skinny version, his words, not mine, of Dr. Phil and coming out, in which Dr. Phil got angry and ordered him to leave.
there and what our kids have access to. Okay, here is Ty defending his Bumfights video.
Smack him right in the forehead with it.
I see homeless people as talent. When I go out in the streets, I'm looking for talent. I can smell it.
I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you. You can go. You can go.
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on this show, you exploit them and spread whatever the problems they have to the whole world. You think that's helping them?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You can go.
You know what? Who do you think you are, huh?
Bye.
Hey, bud, come on.
Huh?
Come on,
No, I'm not finished talking to you.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Come on, let's go.
Sorry, but I just watched that footage, and that is absolutely despicable, and I refuse to publicize that. I'm just not going to do it. He clearly could not have a serious dialogue.
So that was fun. And then fast forward, you actually had the two former homeless guys, Rufus and Donnie Brennan, who actually went on to live after Bumfights. Brennan still struggled with his PTSD and his alcoholism. Rufus actually cleaned up his act, actually moved home to Georgia, got a job as a groundskeeper for an apartment building, was doing really well, was off alcohol by all accounts, and then was tragically killed in a car accident in 2017. So, sad end to a sad life, but at least there at the end, he kind of pulled it together. And just when you thought perhaps we had heard the end of the Bumfights crew, you had two of the original four creators, Ryan McPherson, Danny Tanner, now at 31 and 33 years old respectively, getting arrested in Bangkok, Thailand for trying to ship fetal body parts home to a friend in the USA. Yes, I'm not even kidding. They said they were doing it as a gag to get it on film, so evidently their love for getting outrageous things on film wasn't quenched with Bumfights. So they ended up trying to film this, got arrested. They were cleared of any charges of having foul play involved, like they hurt somebody to get these body parts. They simply bought them for somebody that sells them in Thailand. I guess that's a thing. But that's the last we heard of these guys. But it has not stopped copycats from trying to get famous doing outrageous and disgusting things. Now, I'm not even talking about, Girls Gone Wild or even Jackass. I mean, maybe I'll do a show on Girls Gone Wild, because there's a whole other thing going on there with sexual abuse and stuff like that. But with Jackass, I mean, those guys were consenting actors. I actually met Steve-O once. Pretty cool dude. But there were copycats that tried to get famous doing this kind of exploitive stuff. We're going to talk about a couple of those. July 2003, shortly after Bumfights' biggest debut, you had a group of boys in Las Vegas suburbs known as the 311 Boys who actually got together, went around town, destroyed property, beat people up, and got it on film. They were actually arrested and sentenced to community service and jail time in late 2003, but they are credited as indicating that Ryan McPherson, Danny Tanner, and the rest of the Bumfights crew inspired them to be filmmakers. And even though the creators of Bumfights never spent any time in jail, they suffered financially with a lot of lawsuits, ended up losing just about everything they made from Bumfights to lawsuits, so I think that's adequate. I guess adequate punishment. The fact that they had to pay off some of the homeless people was a good thing, and that at least one of those guys went on to have a decent life in the end, I guess was good enough. But I don't know what the lesson is here. Don't do nasty things to get famous, because it's not worth it. But it's not ethical and it's not good. But this is America. We're all free to use our talents as we see fit, I guess, but let's do that within reason. This was not a good idea. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little parlay into the world of exploitation video. If you want to see something on Girls Gone Wild, please put comments down below. I'll be happy to delve into that. I'll be back this weekend, Friday and Sunday, with my friend Michelle. We're going to delve into the case of Amanda Knox. I know it's going to be a good one, so looking forward to that. And then next week, I'm going to delve into the original mass shooting in a high school in Colorado, 𝐲𝐬𝐯. I don't think I need to go more into that, but I'm going to delve into that as we have approached and just passed the 21st anniversary of that. So I'm going to delve into that. So got some pretty exciting cases coming up. I hope you'll stick with me. If you'd like to support the channel, links are down below. And as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. 𝐲𝐞𝐭'𝐬. Until next time.